Hello, everyone. Welcome to 14 Minutes of Fame. I'm your host, James Bradford, and with me today is my co-host, Caroline Ritchie.
What's up? How are you doing, James?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
I'll tell you what, it was raining like hell yesterday, wasn't it?
Indeed it was.
It's crazy. Beautiful day today, though.
Can't complain.
Oh, it's great. Well, we're here sitting in HHWheels studio, and pretty rocking, awesome place here. Got a lot of hot rods, a lot of muscle cars.
Yeah, pat yourself on the back while you're at it.
A lot of fun in here. We've been having a lot of fun here lately, haven't we?
I painted a couple walls in here. Give me some credit.
Yes, you did. You helped. It was good. It's awesome.
No, we've been having a lot of fun around here.
Well, I guess what I'd like to get into is what we've been doing lately over the last 3-4 weeks. We've been shooting our new YouTube show, HHWheels.
Oh yeah.
Which is going to be coming out real soon on our actual YouTube channel, HHWheels.
Indeed, yeah, it's pretty exciting.
So this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun for a lot of people to see actually what we're doing in here, because we do get on Instagram and we post pictures, and people like to look and see what we're doing, and they see our progress, and slowly, but they'll have to all condensed in like a 30-minute show or 20 or 30-minute show. They'll get to see like a whole project getting done.
Well, I think a lot of people too, like just locally, will be excited to see what we're doing in here, because we have so many people who ask us, like, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing with your free time?
Well, yeah, the questions will be answered.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Cat's out of the bag.
Right. Well, I think what I'd like to do is just kind of introduce you a little bit and get into what you're all about. I think, our relationship started maybe 2 years ago-ish, somewhere in that range. I can't really, the first day I met you was not the best day. I remember, walking up, I was busy, I came up and you just said something smart ass to me to kind of break the ice. And I remember I was like, I don't really like her.
You were pretty butthurt about it. Like, hearing about it now, you were pretty sore about it, not gonna lie. But in my defense, I had plenty of people who told me, like, you don't take anything seriously. Like, you are a child at heart, 100%.
It was just a bad day. I think it was just a bad day when I walked up. I was dealing with a bunch of crap probably.
Well, I just remember you like walking in your door, and I said something to you. You're just like, you just gave me this face of like, who?
It wasn't that. I didn't look like that.
Who do you think you are? That's the face.
That's probably was like who are you? Like yeah.
And I hear that story.
I remember saying something. I don't like her. Was like, but then a few months went by. We got to know each other. You're dating Chris, who is
Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, he's your boyfriend, and he has the bay next door. You guys get together. You're renting the bay next door, which is really cool. It's RebelsNavy. This is something that's big for you, with your T-shirts and decals and possible business venture that's starting up down the road.
Yeah, it's my print shop, speed shop, where I kind of got interested into introduced into the world of cars, and it kind of stemmed from me wanting to be an entrepreneur at some point, or having my own business, and then it kind of all just meshed into one. And then I started, why don't I just produce my own T-shirts? And I researched that and spent a year on that, and then got into that. And you even helped me go pick up my first real press.
That was an adventure. Yes.
That was definitely an adventure.
I don't know how that worked out. I was looking at this engine down there in Florida, and you were like, well, there's this guy that has this press that's only 50 miles away from that place, and we could go pick that up. And I'm like, okay, we'll take the trailer and we'll go down and get it, right?
Kind
is that how it all went?
Kind of how it went. What happened was you were saying you wanted me to go with you to go pick up this 440 for this 68th year.
Because I needed somebody to drive.
And
That's
you
what it
needed
was.
someone to go with you, and I was like, this is a perfect time to swindle him into something he doesn't want to do.
Okay. All right, now the truth comes out. Okay.
I was looking at a couple presses, and conveniently this one was literally like 50 miles of back roads away from where your motor was. I think it was a little more south or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, this would be perfect. We'll work it out, like business deal style. I'll drive, you know. And we made a fun trip of it. We went and saw this weird like warehouse, like what was it? It was this huge, like almost speedboat that we saw that was wrapped in money and girls.
I forgot about that.
You
yeah,
forgot about that?
It was like a furniture store, like a secondhand furniture store, but it had all these antique cars and stuff out in front of it, and had this giant cigarette boat that was wrapped with $50 and $100 bills and strippers
chicks,
with holding guns. You know, I'm like, what drug dealer had this thing? You know, there's a picture of this somewhere. We'll have to post that.
I have plenty of pictures.
I know I have that picture somewhere.
This place was like 2 football field sizes. It was massive, and it was all one story. It was all furniture, but in the parts we were in, there was like race cars, race car parts, a bunch of old cars outside.
Yeah, it was a good adventure. We do that a lot. We do jump in the truck and go chase cars and chase car parts, and you've been like a really good partner, or my Robin. You know,
I'm Robin Hood to your Batman.
No, not Robin
not
Hood.
Robin Hood, Robin.
Batman, Robin. You know, when we go and I come up with an idea and I'm like, hey, can you go? And you can jump in the truck and go because your schedule allows you. It's pretty awesome to have that. But getting back on the HHWheels, I think that the reason we're doing our podcast is to really kind of promote that a little bit, and to maybe bring some other people in and talk about, we'll eventually bring some other guests in, and we'll talk about maybe their first cars, or some of the stuff that they did as a teenager in their cars. I think it'll be kind of interesting. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot you can't fit into, video content on YouTube. You have a certain amount of time you want to allot for what you want to get done, and, you miss a lot of the details that are more personal towards the show that people might want to hear via podcast,
Right.
Or they might want to know, who's this guy, who's that chick, who are these people that they kind of get a glimpse of and they like, but they don't know who they are. So a good way of doing that is introducing people through the podcast.
Yeah, eventually we'll get into doing this live, and then we'll have actual, people asking questions on, during the show. It'll be a lot of fun. But it's only going to be 14 minutes long.
Yeah, 14 minutes of fame.
We need to prepare people. 14 minutes is what it's going to be. So
we need to prepare you is what we need to do.
Oh, is that right? Do I talk too much?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So moving on.
Well, can we hear about you? Like, we've talked enough about me. Still don't know who you are, other than the fact that you are HHWheels.
Okay, HHWheels. Well, what would you like to know?
What would I like to
know? Everybody knows who I am.
Yeah, in this, proximity, yeah.
Oh, okay. Who?
You are the doctor.
Oh, yeah. All right. The bike doctor, the bicycle doctor.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a whole, we need 2 hours to explain that one and how that happened.
Agreed.
How that goes.
There's a lot to you. I will definitely.
Yeah. Well, I got 50 years. You got 21. I mean, come on. We're trying to.
We get it. You're not word savvy. Just sum it up. Who are you?
Who am I?
Like, what do people get excited to see about you? What made you want to, create this place? Because I was not the reason why you created this place.
Well, I couldn't get into why people like to see me, or,
Be a narcissist for a minute. Really dig deep.
But I will tell you that I've been into muscle cars and hot rods. I enjoy looking at hot rods. I'm not as much of like a traditional hot rod guy. I really love muscle cars. I've always loved muscle cars since I was a just very small kid. So growing up with them, the bicycle thing, we used to always try to muscle car bicycles up when I was a kid, and we pretend like we're drag racing, and so it all just kind of intertwined, and I was always tearing my bicycles apart and putting them back together, even as far as back as 8, 9 years old. So that was just something natural. Once I was able to get a job in a bike shop, a bicycle store, it just happened. It just stuck with me. So every time I would venture into a different direction, job-wise, I always came back to bicycles, even getting into racing, trying to be a professional bicycle racer at one point. And then it just, ventured into my own business. My plan B was always to have my own bike shop, bicycle store. So that's where the Bike Doctor came from, and it's allowed me to restore a few cars, raise some children, and just have a really good life, here in Hilton Head especially. We live in Hilton Head Island. We live in a very beautiful place. So.
Postal address too while you're at it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and address the elephant in the room, because whether you watch the actual videos or not, or even just follow any social media, like what is the reason behind you liking Mopar? Because I guarantee you, when I first met you, I thought you were the biggest Chevy guy I ever met. And
well, I'm a Chevy guy. I'm a big Chevy guy too.
But you have, how many Mopars do you have currently? You have 4, 5, 4, 5. You have 5. Yeah, you have the.
No.
Yeah.
Yes. No. Anyway, they're not all together. So.
No, but I mean, some people will contest. You did pick one of the most expensive muscle cars to work on. I mean, it's definitely, it's been a challenge for you. I've seen you definitely grow from learning about them, and they have such an intriguing look. I will totally agree with you on that. But like, what sets you apart, from wanting to do Mopars versus doing Chevys? I'm not saying Chevys aren't interesting by any means, but.
No, I've done a couple Chevys where I completely restored them, every nut and bolt off of them, put them back together. They're some of the easiest ones to do because you can actually get all the parts for them. And I started figuring out that I love the chase of finding a part or finding a car or finding a piece, and looking for it. And I love getting in the truck and driving and hopefully finding something that's going to work on a car that I'm working on, or whatever, however that would work out, So they do not make every part to a Mopar, okay? When you're restoring a Mopar, for example, the 71 Roadrunner is a 1-year production car. There was 13,000, somewhere in that range, 13,000 of them made. They don't make a lot of parts for that car. So you got to find them original condition, recondition them, that kind of thing. I like that. I think, the 68 Charger that I have is just kind of a dream car. My brother, it kind of comes from my brother.
You like the pursuit of,
Pursuit of the car, pursuit of the parts. That's my big thing. And then, obviously, once you get something done and you're driving it down the road, whether it's a Chevy or Mopar or anything, you get the thumbs up everywhere you go. Everybody's just like, yeah, So, so it's something that, I think the challenge of a Mopar, it's a much more challenging vehicle to restore. Just the way they put those cars together puzzles me. Like, how did they do this in the factory? You just start thinking, they had a way of doing this, but why didn't they do it like a Chevy? Well, that's because it's not a Chevy, it's a Mopar, it's a Dodge Charger, it's a Roadrunner, Plymouth Roadrunner. There's when I go back and I do my last car, which will be my Chevy 2 Nova, my 66 Chevy 2 Nova, I'm going to be in heaven because it's going to be super easy. I'm going to be just like piecing that thing together.
I think you're going to be bored with it and you're going to want to do another.
I don't know. We'll see.
I could not agree more with them being difficult. I've already spent.
Well, you've helped me a lot.
But maybe even a tenth of the time that you have, and I've already become so frustrated to the point where I've had to walk away. But anyway, as I'm sure you guys will see throughout the show, like especially through HHWheels or anything we put on our channel, you're going to see more Mopars. I mean, the first installment of HHWheels is going to be about Mopars. It's going to be centered around Mopars, but you're also going to experience probably more. I honestly can bet money on that. For sure, coming from somebody that knows that every single trip or venture or even just you looking on Facebook Marketplace, there is not a Dodge Charger that isn't in your message box.
Oh gosh, yes, I love those cars. Who doesn't? Who doesn't love those cars?
Clearly you do. You have so many parts to these cars, and you only have, you have 2 Chargers, I guess, but they're very different.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll tell you what we're doing now is I think we should probably wrap this up and just I think it's good that people know who you are, and you're co-hosting the show with me at HHWheels at the HHWheels show, and we kind of team up and we're basically working on cars together. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're definitely like frickin' frack in this situation for sure.
Yeah.
It's playing to our advantage.
I mean, I put up with you, basically.
I tolerate you, so I get it.
That what? Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's going to sum it up for this particular edition.
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to add?
Welcome to HHWheels and enjoy the ride, folks. That's all I got to say.
Enjoy the ride. All right, we like to reach out to our sponsors, which is Fuel Clothing, the Bike Doctor at Hilton Head, Dorsey Tree Service, and who else can we put in there? Oh, Land Speed Automotive. Anybody out there locally know these guys? Make sure that you look them up.
Call Rabbi Ulu and tell him we love him.